Now on Toledo News this morning, Momentum, the festival celebrating Toledo's arts culture in a vibrant way. Plus, Dana Open, what you can expect for the final 2 days of this year's tournament. And softball in September, a breakdown of this charity event later in sports. It's Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. Good Saturday morning. My name is Jaden Jefferson and welcome to Toledo News this morning. Today is an exciting day if you've been following NASA's Artemis 1 mission. At 2:17 p.m. from Cape Canaveral, Florida, the Artemis rocket will launch after being delayed earlier this week due to engine temperature concerns, as well as a hydrogen leak. According to NASA, while showers are expected in the area around the time of the launch, they'll be sporadic. So what about the forecast here at home? Well, for today, you can expect a high in the upper 80s with the potential for thunderstorms throughout the day. Temps will then dip into the upper 60s for tonight. Construction continues on I-75 heading over the DeSalle Bridge, but as you may remember from last weekend, the final stretch of the previous bridge was detonated. The overall project will continue through 2023. Now to a war we can all get behind. The 419 taco war, of course. Today at noon on the Lucas County Fairgrounds, there will be 18 taco competitors and 40 total food vendors. There will also be plenty of other non-food vendors, entertainment, and beer. The entry fee is $10 for adults, $5 for kids ages 3 to 12, and those 2 and under are free. There will be no refunds. Some of the proceeds from this event will go to the Business Building Movement, a local organization. This Labor Day weekend, the Ohio State Highway Patrol is cracking down on impaired driving. During the 2021 Labor Day weekend, there were 16 fatal crashes, which killed 17 people. 8 crashes and 9 of those fatalities involved alcohol and/or drugs. 5 of those fatalities involved people who were cruising without a seatbelt. Troopers also made 515 impaired driving arrests during last year's holiday weekend. The patrol urges that if you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. September is National Preparedness Month. So what is it and how can you get involved? Well, here's my conversation with Simon Merrick, Executive Director of the Ohio Emergency Management Agency.
First of all, Jay, National Preparedness Month is an observance each September to raise awareness about the importance of preparing for disasters and emergencies that could happen at any time to any of us, any Ohioan, any Toledoan, anyone across the country. So basically, the importance is this awareness is to remind us that we should take some time to think about having an emergency kit and emergency supplies on hand.
And when it comes to Ohio, our different potential threats differ because we have all 4 seasons. I mean, you have the summer where you're dealing with a lot of thunderstorms and things of that nature. And now we're getting closer to winter, which is a whole nother story. So when it comes to preparing from that hyper-local standpoint, what exactly can Ohioans do?
So, one of the things is when people think preparedness, many times they think of severe weather preparedness, which is very important. And I'll talk in a minute about that. But while that is very important, there are many other hazards that impact your area that people can prepare for, right? So when we think about weather, we think about interruptions in electricity, or we think about people losing electricity and using alternate sources of heating. So then there's the risk of home fires. And in teaching children not to hide from firefighters, to find ways to get out of each room, practicing candle safety, are very important as we raise our children, and just reminders to us as adults. I think the other thing is what Ohioans and Toledoans can do to be prepared is to keep their family out of harm's way is by making an emergency plan, Jaden, and that's including preparing an emergency kit. And when making that plan, people should consider the following. How will your family members receive emergency alerts and warnings, especially when you're separated? So is everyone receiving those same alerts and warnings? What's your household's shelter plan? If you're separated, where do you go for shelter? And then, you need to update your preparedness kit. And in that kit, we ask that people think about water, food. If you're going to use cans, non-perishable, think about having a can opener to be able to open those.
Most definitely. And what do you advise people do to get emergency alerts? Because oftentimes if you're talking about a weather event or something that may be general public threat, What do you advise so they can get that emergency info and quick?
So, I think the biggest thing that I would mention is so all of us carry cell phones. And on those phones, we make sure that we have our alerts turned on. So we turn on emergency alerts, public notifications, and go in there and indicate yes to them in conjunction with emergency alerting system and what crawls across our television stations. So that is the biggest way to be able to communicate. The other thing that I tend to do with my family is I have contacts listed in my phone in case of emergency. So if a first responder picks up that phone, they look for that, they can make a phone call in there and know that one of those indicated under ICE in case of emergency.
And that is a great recommendation because that's something I didn't even think about when it comes to emergencies. So definitely a lot of great information about this. And Simon Merrick, Executive Director of the Ohio Emergency Management Agency, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
For City of Toledo utility customers, in-person service has resumed at the city's Madison Avenue office. The office will be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The office will be closed on Monday for, of course, Labor Day. Residents can get assistance with their bills, including making payments and information on payment plans. There is also a secure drop box to pay bills. The city's water shutoff moratorium, as you may remember, ended last month. Sticking with utility news, the State Controlling Board has approved over $146 million for the State of Ohio Department of Development to continue administering the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, as well as economic relief. The appropriations are just one part of the state's overall response to economic hardship triggered by the pandemic. An additional $2 million was allocated to the Department of Development to continue supporting the Community Services Block Grant, which provides emergency services. The grant is also designed to help low-income Ohioans obtain a job or education. The Toledo-Lucas County Emergency Rental Assistance Program application portal, which assists eligible households with up to 15 months of assistance, has reopened for applications through September 30th. The program includes current, future, and past due rent, as well as late fees, new renter fees, security deposits, utility deposits, and utility payments. Grants are awarded based on priorities established by the U.S. Department of Treasury. This is the final opportunity to apply for the funds this year. For information regarding eligibility, landlord requirements, or to apply for assistance, visit toledo.oh.gov/renters. The Board of Lucas County Commissioners on Wednesday awarded $100,000 in criminal justice grants. According to the commissioners, the grants of $10,000 each, funded by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, are designed to advance the county's efforts to address racial and ethnic disparities in the criminal justice system, while reducing the jail population. The 10 community organizations awarded funding include the Toledo-Lucas County Police Athletic League, Junction Coalition, Frederick Douglass Community Association, JRM Mentoring, The Program Inc., Open Arms Transformation Living, Pathway Incorporated, Stand Up Man Up 2, and All In Academy. It's an event that started in 2017 and returns to the Glass City September 15th through the 17th. Momentum is the Arts Commission's 3-day festival, which according to organizers, celebrates Toledo's arts culture in a vibrant way. The festival kicks off with art exhibits throughout Promenade Park. For a full rundown, visit theartscommission.org. A student-led charity at the University of Toledo is once again hosting a fundraiser for the Ronald Mcdonald House of Northwest Ohio. During last year's softball in September event, University of Toledo Avengers Assemble saw over 100 students come out to play, raising over $1,000 for Ronald McDonald House Charities of Northwest Ohio. This year's event will be held Sunday, September 11th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Scott Park Sports Complex. And this weekend, the Dana Open continues at Highland Meadows Golf Club in Sylvania for a grand prize of $1.75 million. According to a tournament official, the Open raises funds for local children's charities. During its 37-year history, close to $13 million has been raised for more than 200 charities in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. And that's Saturday's news. Have a great weekend.